Hi, my name is Richard DeZerga from Microsoft. In a previous video and blog post, I illustrated how we can use apps for Office to pull data into Excel from maybe a data source that things like Power Query and Power View don't necessarily support. And by pulling it in there, I could then use all the great tools that Excel supports for slicing and dicing data and putting visualizations on top of it. And it was a really great way to get to some of these proprietary data sources. In this video, I'm going to show how we can take that a step further by including our app for Office in a template that already has some of these pre-built visualizations. And so one of the great things is there's already a really good published model for combining an Office app with a template, and that happens to be Excel-based. So if I come out here, there's actually a PayPal invoicing app that delivers a really cool PayPal app for building invoices, and the template is all combined with that. So it's really packaging that app and template together. Now that's a little bit more of a transactional model. What I want to show is how we can do the same thing from a reporting standpoint. So what I'm going to show you is a quick app that I built called the Yammer Group Explorer. Yammer has one of these challenging APIs that uses things like OAuth and special tokens in the request header of API calls. I know that's a lot of geek talk, but ultimately they make it to where it's very secure, but because of the way they authenticate and maybe the way that their APIs are throttled, it makes it a little bit more challenging for us to connect with something like Power Query or Power Pivot. So we're going to actually use a template and an app to do that. So here's my template here in my list of recent documents. I'm going to open this Yammer Group Explorer template. And when I open it, you're going to see that it has a table already inside of it and our app. And so this steps me through a wizard for getting data out of Yammer. So the first step that I'm going to do is to supply a code. And ultimately, this is a special password that I'm going to use to connect to data. It gives me a process here of getting that code if I need it, but ultimately I'm going to go ahead and paste this in here. And now that it validates that, it lets me go to step 2. Step 2 says, what group do you want to actually go and pull statistics on? And so I'll go through and find a group. So let's look at maybe the Office 365 Dev APIs. And then it's going to take me to step 3. It's going to say, how far back do you want to go? And maybe I'll go back to the beginning of maybe May. So I'll go back to May 1st. And then finally, it's going to give me a confirmation. It's saying, hey, here's the group, and here's the date that you're going to go back to. So I'll go ahead and say get activities. And here's where our app is going to go to work. It's going to go against those APIs in a throttled fashion. So you notice that it's not just, it seems to be refreshing a little bit at a time. That's because Yammer is going to allow us to go and only get 50 records at a time. And it's only going to allow us to do that at a certain rate. And so it's actually, at this point, it's complete. It took a little while to get all that data. But at this point, I'm actually completely done with our app. So I can actually close the app. And now I have this raw data. Now the cool thing is I've actually already in this template built some visualization. So if I want to, I can simply start working with those. But the first step for that is I need to just do a quick update. So I'm going to just say update all. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull in all of the new data into our model so that we can report against it. So you can see here now I have some really cool visualizations that have already been pre-built with this data, where I can see, looks like Jeremy is the most popular user out in this specific Yammer group, and I can look at all of the message counts, the likes, the attachments that he's had. I can go look at other general activity. Here I can look at maybe messages by the different clients that are used. Were they using the web browser? Were they using email? Were they using maybe the iPad app? And so it gives me a really cool way to visualize that Yammer data. So you can hopefully see how combining our app with a template that already had some of these pre-built visualizations, our users didn't have to figure out how to build these visualizations because we built it for them ahead of time and included it in a template with our app. So this is, again, combining apps for Office with a template to deliver a really great package solution.